And then on Saturday, we have Veterans Day. As I said last week, shake the hand of a veteran, love a veteran, tip a veteran, whichever one you like to do. So how many veterans are in the house, please? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, Sean, 5, myself, 6. So there's 6 of us today that are veterans. Thank you for your service and your family's dedication to your service. That's the other part about being a veteran. A lot of people leave out is our families were also on this journey. Now, in addition to that, hopefully she's going to be here soon to talk about her event, but if she's not, we're going to do something else. But we have.
Hi, I'm Mike Greatest with Nothing But Cakes, and for all those veterans, I have a treat for you veterans. So if you'll keep your hands raised, this is courtesy of April Wise and Nothing But Cakes, and you'll get your choice of either chocolate chip, lemon, red velvet, or white chocolate raspberry. There are 4 popular flavors.
Thank you, Mike. What a great way to start Veterans Day and celebrating the people that served our country. So thanks, Mike, and April. Nothing. Thanks for doing that. Anything else, Oz?
At some point, where is the other gentleman that came in from Utah Diplomacy? Because Felicia's not here yet. Okay, can you please share with us about the sports symposium tomorrow? Or you want me to do that? Come on, get up here. Okay, so what time does it start? And what's the location?
He said he only knows the time, Oz.
I'm sorry,
You got 8:30. 8:30.
I'm sorry, I got issues with the record. Okay, so Felicia will be here later on. We have a great opportunity tomorrow. So Utah Diplomacy is holding in sports tourism. So anyone that's involved with sports, any aspects of sports, whether you coach a little league team, you sponsor a little league team, this is a great opportunity to mix and mingle with other people in the industry to support, of course, youth in our community.
Thank you, Oz. Veterans Day, it's a good one to celebrate. Time to slow down and appreciate some of the things we have. Sometimes we stay busy. I know I stay busy sometimes and forget what day it is. So hopefully you can slow down and thank the folks that have been helping make this country a great place to live. So, all right. Well, happy Wednesday, buddy. How's everybody doing? Good. Yeah. Thanks for the coffee, that's for sure. One of those days. We're against the tall mugs today, so we need more. Just give a holler and we'll get some more. I'm guessing with the tall mug, we need some more. We've got 2 presenters today, and I think the pipeline's looking pretty good. So we're into November. I announced last week, for those that weren't here, we are going to change locations coming up in December. So the first week of December, we also get the other mics.
Yeah, I think it is. What need?
Yeah, it is.
All right, maybe this one. One of these days, we'll figure it out. The other place has a sound system, so I was like, we'll bring a sound system. It's like, we got one, so we're looking forward to that. I think they've got fewer remote controls, but overall, generally, 3 Cups and Woodbine, they've been great. We've been here for almost a year. We usually make it somewhere about a year, right? We start a place when they say, hey, it'd be really cool if you guys came and showed up and hung out. And then they realize, like we do, that once it comes every week, it's like, God, I kind of wish you guys would always be here on Wednesdays. No. But they are busy. In fact, they have 2 big groups coming in today that have rearranged for them. So they've asked that we have a hard stop at 11. So if you can help me clean up and get chairs back and stuff, it makes my life easier. You don't have to, but they would like us to find, kind of shut us down and be back to normal operating stuff by 11. So if you could help me out with that, they'd appreciate it. I would too. Yeah, so the move's gonna happen the first week of December, and good news, it's not far. So if you're like, where are we going? Instead of turning right off 6 South, if you're coming in from the freeway, or turning left off this South, it's gonna be at a place called Underbelly. It's right across the street from the park. They got parking on the street. They got parking on their side. It's next to Western Nuts. If you had joined me when I owned a company in space called Investable in South Salt Lake off 21st South, it's more intimate, plenty of space, lots of room to move. It's a creative place. So they do all sorts of videos and headshots. Anthony is here. Probably do a better job explaining it than I do, but they've got like a big white room. They've got a bunch of working space. It's co-working for creatives. So not only are they hosting us and giving us access to their great space, we're going to try to help bring some more of the creative folks in the community, right? Because business
We don't try.
takes creatives. That's right, we do. Well, we will do by moving, because that way they can't avoid us, at least on Wednesdays anyway, right? So just one way to force cooperation. So we're really excited to move over to Underbelly. Thank you to Anthony and Tony and the team to host us. If we get too big, we can even move into the back. They've got all sorts of cool space, so we're going to start, and just like everything else, it's an experiment. We're going to see how it goes, do our best, but everything we've looked at so far, I'm pretty pumped about, and should be a great space for us. So, and it's just down the street. Not missing anything, Anthony? Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah. Okay. So, Felicia, apparently you've got an event you want to talk about? Oz is on one real direct today. So. Important.
When us says talk, we all say yes, right? All right. Felicia, Utah Global Diplomacy, and I want to just do one more invite for tomorrow's event, which is sports diplomacy. What happens when you get a skateboarder, a rugby team, an Olympian, the First Lady, who else? I'm trying to think. Refugee soccer, all together in a room to talk about how do we make the world a better place using economics and sports. That's exactly what we're doing tomorrow. It's a free event. It's at the Utah Cultural Celebration Center. Doors open at 8:30. The event starts at 9 o'clock. It does help if you register, but if not, you're also welcome to just show up. We'll offer lunch. Yeah, and I hope you're all there. It should be a really great event this year. Thanks.
Thanks, Felicia. Utah's always got so much going on. There's so many cool things happening. It's hard to keep up with them all. So thanks for sharing it. Joel just pointed out and reminded me about Utah Tech Week. They just announced that. January 22nd to 27th. I think that last year we hosted 1 Million Cups for as part of Tech Week. And I think they told us maybe 5 or 6 weeks before. And so this time they said, hey, we're doing Tech Week, and here's the dates. And so it's free to host an event. There's a ton of events that'll happen. So if you're into tech, not everybody here is, but if you are and you want to be, you can host an event. You can get on the list and be part of a bunch of events. So January is a great way to kick it off. Yeah, we'll host 1 Million Cups as part of it for sure. Who is it their first time? I don't know if I see any first. Troy is. He's presenting, so talks for Troy. Yes. Val. Val. H-A-L-E. No? Okay. All right. A little more coffee, I'll get there. Fiona, welcome. Thanks for being here. Of course. Jeremy, welcome. So my name is Robert, for those that don't know. And we've been hosting 1 Million Cups. It's like I've been saying a decade, and then some people from 1MC were saying, actually, it's only been 9 years and some change. I said, okay. Not quite a decade yet. We're getting closer. 2024 will be at a decade, but we're not in 2024 yet. So, this started with just a couple of friends and a couple of businesses, and entrepreneurship can feel hard and lonely, and so we had a foosball table. In fact, when I was looking at the pictures, I found some borrowed pictures of people hanging out in the first events we were hosting, and surprisingly, it started with just a couple folks, but in some version of the world, there's almost as many people here today as there were back then. So we've been doing this for a long time. We did, and drinking was not frowned upon. We didn't get in trouble, but we should have probably. Didn't ever have a keg or anything, but that's, out of college, like, we're like, let's go. Now it's just coffee mostly. We did do a million beers, and we've done a couple events where we drink, but it's too early in the morning. I'm too old to drink like that anymore. So one thing before we turn it over to the two speakers, Tim's going to go first. He's a friend. He's been working on this cool idea that I think we could use here at 1 Million Cups. So I know he's looking for some feedback and is really interested to share and see what you guys think. Crack the nut on some language and some other things, but company called Chumem, so he's hip. He's hipper than I am, so that worked really hard. So he's trying to get that going. And then Troy's here. Steve from Bamboo invited him. They've been working together, and he said, hey, he's got this cool marketing thing with Stampede, and I messed up the schedule, and somebody dropped out last minute, and Troy's like, I'll do it. I've never been, but I'm in. So that's the sign of a good entrepreneur that's willing to jump in. So thanks for being here, Troy. So the last thing that I like to do before having the speakers present is to open the space to just celebrate and complain. Right? So I've got a coaching company. Hopefully you read some of the rules. I don't usually talk about it much because there's something explanatory mostly, but I'm sponsoring coffee. And so with that, I guess, for my coaching company, you can indulge me by taking a minute and sharing something that's been hard or something that has gone really well, right? Sometimes we don't get in the habit of like talking to people about things that are tough or things that we're excited about. Mike, you had one?
Yeah, Mike. So I presented about a month ago, getting some feedback from all of you on my pitch presentation, and I am one of the 5 finalists for one that is $50,000.
Quick question. I'm not familiar with any of the personnel in Unstucker, so when are they presenting? Thank you.
Actually, this is less about gripe or anything, but I want to invite everybody. We're doing a lunch and learn today at Film in Lehigh, talking about how fractional services can help you grow your business. So it's sponsored by Paychecks, includes Ed with 215 Tech, and a fractional CFO, fractional HR, so forth. So please, it's at noon today. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Events are things to celebrate too, for sure. Whoever seems to take me up on the complaints, I think it's good muscle. It's kind of like optimist, pessimist. We all have this opinion about the glass half full and half empty. You tell people it's half empty in a room, everybody thinks you're a dick. Anybody? Nobody?
I am that dick. Anyway, I had to tell the client we had to change our ABA. We had 5 like devs working on the project. Now we have 12 devs working on it. It's changed what we do. Like yesterday, I just wanted to go write a check. Screw that, it's $400. Let's send it in PayPal. And everybody had a potential bit. You can't send money in PayPal anymore. I was like, yeah, but it's my notes. So I had to go through an argument about how I have to spend my money. So, but we're now a corporate thingy, whatever. So it's different. It's very different. I'm used to I do what I want when I want. I get to do whatever I want. Now it's not. So it's different.
Guardrails, that's a good complaint to have. Those ones suck. Part of the process, though, right? You can to me, I'll figure it out. You say you got money, I don't care. You give it to me, I will figure it out.
Say some activism stuff?
You want? You do you.
All right. I don't know if you guys know, but UDOT wants to expand I-15 from downtown to Farmington, and you can put a public comment in on that, on how you feel about that until next week. So
How do you feel about that?
I think we need more public, I think we need more public representation personally. I don't think that's a good idea. Wait, do you want to hear my opinion on it? I don't think that they should expand that because every time they expand a freeway, it just fills up again. And that is actually, has been researched and proven to be true. So let's
California's in the indication.
yeah, right. More sustainable projects, road projects.
We're not having fewer people either.
That's true, but they don't need to be enforced.
Yeah. I got people that own property and
Right, yeah. They have to take away some
businesses.
and businesses. So, submit a public comment on that.
If you have an opinion.
If you have an opinion, please have an opinion.
Last chance for celebrations compliance. Anybody else feeling it? Okay. I appreciate you guys indulging me. Part of the reason that we do that is a lot of us have a lot going on. Entrepreneurship, I say this all the time, can be hard and lonely. And, you know, I put some stuff out on LinkedIn last week and I was thinking that I'm going to jump into coaching full time. And, you know, I've been a venture capitalist, I've been a coach for a long time, but even that, like, can be a lot. And when I put it out there, people are so kind and so helpful. Tim offered to help me with the book. I offered Tim's doing some stuff, I got to help him. So part of it is just sharing and talking about what we're up to. Sometimes it's easier to not talk about it than it is to talk about it. Peter and I were catching up about, we're both in those changes, right? Sometimes we don't have, we've got veterans in the room. Okay, so public comments, there's all sorts of stuff. So thanks for taking the time. You don't need me to prompt you to do it. You're welcome to do that part without me, but I'm going to keep doing it while I'm paying for copying. So thanks for indulging me, and let's keep the round of applause going for Tim. It'll get him stressed out and psyched for his presentation on Chumem. So let's give Tim a big round of applause.
Okay, so thank you guys for listening to my thing. This is not my first time presenting here, but this is probably my most exciting thing I've ever worked on. A little bit of background on me. I've been in marketing and events for a really long time. I started my career at Clearly, doing lead generation, and then I ran Miingl, which is an accelerator down in Sandy, did that for a number of years. While doing that, I also was the executive director for Works of the Angels, so if you're interested in funding, let me know. And then, oh, there we go. And then I also host a podcast called Pitch Us, where I help people with their pitch decks. And now I'm asking for help. So, I've been in this space for a while, and it's going to lead to where we're going. So I created this company called Chumem. Chum meaning to stir up, right? You stir up like the sharks, and then it's just a combination. Funny story, my roommate in the Marine Corps' name was Chum, but that had nothing to do with this. But yeah, so I need your help. What I'm doing requires understanding a lot about the event industry. So how many people here host events on a regular basis? Yeah, okay. So we got a couple. How many have never hosted an event? Probably the rest of you. Yeah, okay, so quite a few. So some things to keep in mind. A group like this has a very small team. There's Oz and Robert and then Stephanie are probably the big three. This is not their job. They don't get paid to do this. It's just a volunteer thing. Yet it requires all the same things as if this was their primary role, like if this was all they did. They have other things that they have to do. And then if you look at the tools that come along with this, they're really meant for other things. So if you look at HubSpot or things like that, I'll do that a little bit. But they just don't have access because there's just no money. I mean, think even Parks and Angels, we have a very, very small budget to just execute on that. So if you look at this little chart here, if we look at every single event, right, that little purple or the little green triangle is about the amount of time that somebody might spend on promoting the event, and usually gets dropped. So, keep going through this. So the whole point of these events is really just to get leads,
right? So all of you guys are here trying to make new contacts, why people put these things together. In order to grow the audience, they invite speakers like ourselves who have audiences, right? So we try to like use them to bring more people, okay? Because you got a network, I got a network, and we're trying to merge these things together. But in order to do that effectively, you have to remind me to post. I'm busy, right? I don't have time to create my own content. I need you to remind me as the speaker to do something. And so if we look at the industry as a whole, right? We've got events, platforms, Eventbrite, things like that. Tori's a big popular one that's growing right now, but there's millions of them. There's so many. There's great tools for inviting people. So you build your list, MailChimp, HubSpot, whatever, just remind people through a newsletter to show up. And then you've got great tools for, doing the marketing side of it. Big marketing, Facebook, billboards, definitely. But what there's not a good tool for is this kind of communication with your speakers to get them to promote it. And so what they want is something like this, some kind of tool that says, put a reminder schedule in place so I don't have to think about it. And then I'm going to add all this content to that message that says, hey, Robbie, you're speaking next Tuesday. Can you please share what you're doing at my event? Right? And so that's what I built. And so this is really what we're doing. That's really what Chumem is doing. And I want to walk you through what we're doing, and then I'm going to ask for help. Okay. So we really streamlined this process. I'm an operations person. I love setting automation tools so I can set and forget. So I created this system so that you can just auto-populate messages. And it looks basically, looks like this. So you just run through a sequence. It happens every single time. It's really, really simple. You just can click on these little like dots basically and say, I want to message somebody at this date. And the message is pre-populated and you can change it. The next thing you can do is you can pre-plan. So a lot of what happens, Robert sent me a message last night at 10 p.m. to this, and I guarantee it was manual, right? So you can pre-plan this way into the future and not have to think about it. I'm just saying, it happens. This is a common thing that everything we do in this space, for the most part, is very manual, very last minute. And people are like, oh, you guys are great. I did that between walking my dog and making food. So what you can do is just basically copy it. Copy what you have, change the date, and you're good to go. And then there's a whole bunch of other features. So that's what I'm doing. And now this is where I need your help. Okay. I'm looking for a common word, right, that encompasses all these words: speaker, sponsor, presenter, partner, volunteer. If we use the word guest, and I'll put the two thing on here. I have a podcast. If I invite you onto my podcast, you are my guest. You're not a speaker, you're not a presenter. That is the word that's used in that industry. If we're on events, you guys are all guests. You got a ticket, you paid to be here, whatever. A butt in a seat is a guest. So we are not allowed to use that word. It creates too much confusion. So this is what I need. I need a word, and I'll open up to questions here in a second. I need a word that encompasses all these. And then the second thing I need is I would love help making this easier to understand so I don't have to give 5 slides of background information for people who don't know. Robert Belt's easy, he gets it, right? A lot of people in this room get it because they've done it. If you don't do this a lot, you're like,
The word is team.
It's a team.
Participants.
I was going to say chum. How about all your chums?
my chance.
All our buddies.
Yeah, do your job. We could create our own word.
That's what I was, because there is no word, but if you brand your own, it fits with your brand. So if you take chum, you got to buy me a drink or something.
Yeah.
The word that's commonly used is facilitator.
Facilitator. Is that to be confused? Could that be confused with host?
No. So I'm a facilitator to you today.
Uh,
You're a facilitator to the guest. So you're trying to find one word that can be used for all of these. A facilitator is someone who helps infrastructure, organization, institution.
What I think. I'm Michael Miingl. Anyway, I think we need a word that okay? We need a brother or a sister, a family member, or something. This is our family member.
like that, that will get rid of your guest problem. That'll come sponsor, presenter. My brother's my sponsor. My brother's my speaker. My brother's my partner. My brother's my volunteer. I'm a brother to you. Okay? So we can come up with a word that's close to brother. Somewhere.
That's too Utah.
I typed it into AI and it said collaborator. I did it too, and it did not come up with that one.
Thanks, AI. I'm still doubling down on Chum.
Okay. We can brand it. So, I guess I'm just a little confused. I'd love to know more why you need to differentiate this as opposed to, like, is it just for, like, the flows, the communication, just the presentations? Like, and what do you want from that? Like, say you got the perfect word, what are you hoping the reaction would be when you're talking to them? So, great question. So if I go to sell it, it's been really easy to communicate successfully. If I decide to go and raise capital, that's where I get this really hard pushback because what people do is they jump to the word guests. And then they're like, well, are you inviting people? Like, how are you tracking the people that come? And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care how many people. That's not my problem. Eventbrite, that's that good enough. You see what I'm saying? So what ends up happening is we jump to a conversation that I don't want to have.
Okay.
Even Robert did this to me.
Okay, so when you're talking about the value proposition of this product, you're trying to center around the value prop for X user. And so you're trying to define that so that you can test the value in a conversation.
Yes. Yes. It's the song presentation.
About talent.
Talent's a good one.
So I have to say that that this product, I will 100% use it. It's very timely for us, and it would save me so much energy because we already put together media kits for all of those categories, and it's incredibly time consuming, and then paying them to do that. With that being said, the words that resonate, I mean, we're our own organization, but we already preface that if you're going to be a speaker, a sponsor, a presenter, or whatever, you're a partner of ours, and we do expect you to promote this event. That's sort of the trade-off of if we're going to pay you an honorarium, if we're going to bring you onto a stage, you got to be our partner. And then as far as guests, we always just call them attendees.
Okay, so
Partners and attendees.
not gonna be rules. So guests as attendees, and then you define that. I think that's a good way to go.
Have you plugged it into ChatGPT?
Mike just did.
Oh, I just did too. I just did too, and it came up. It wasn't very exciting. It came up with I already forgot the word. Contributor. That's with very little context. I think that could give you a really good ideas.
Yeah, that's great though. I'm not raising money right now. If I decide to. Yeah. I'm about 6 months away from that conversation.
Sam, I'm gonna bridge two of them. I'm gonna bridge the brother thing here, and I'm gonna bridge Chum with comers.
Commerce?
Comers, yeah.
Okay. There's lots going on there.
My bad.
Any other thoughts? Any other questions about
Hey, it's safe space, but
I did right now.
there's no shame.
I like that. Yeah.
Look, we gotta have a lot of bad ideas to come up with a good one, right? So,
No,
Chum
just ideas.
is a bad idea too. Like, it's why I threw it out there, right? It's like, not as funny as the next.
Okay, I think that was helpful. All right. Okay, so my next question really is, how can I help make this easier to understand? Was it easy to understand? This is a completely different format than I gave Robert and I gave other people. So, how can I make this easier to understand? For those who don't know, and if you don't know what I'm doing, I need time.
Does anybody not understand it? Does everybody get this business, this concept? Yeah, I mean, it's not as complicated as I think you fear that it is. I think people get it.
Okay.
People go through.
So totally get the concept and challenge here. I've hosted some events, I've done some like webinars and stuff like 5-6 years ago. I know how challenging it is, and I haven't done any large
large scale. One thing I think is slightly missing, at least for me, was like I don't feel the pain that I can hear that other people have felt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I don't like I saw that little bar like okay, how much like time people commit? Like yeah, okay, it's a micro slot of a small slot of your time, right? I get that, but like I personally didn't like feel the pain of what you're solving. I understand it, but if you could maybe amplify that up a little bit, might come through easier.
How can I help communicate it? Is it Felicia, right? How can I communicate the pain? Because you feel it. I feel it on my podcast every day. Yeah.
You have to have that effect. You
Yeah.
have to have people give you that for even media, and social media is the best way to do that. But people are lazy and they're not going to do it on.
Okay.
I know the mic's welcome to my problem.
Yeah.
I think we're running a little short on time. There's obviously a lively discussion,
Yes. Great.
and Tim, you're going to stick around for a little bit?
Yep.
So if you didn't get to weigh in or have some more feedback or something comes up between now and the end, hold on to it, share it with Tim. Tim, you got a matching set here. I don't know how many you got now. You can start giving them away as well. Michael from Dice Media Group is besides the cup. He's giving you a gift card to Beans and Brews to fill that thing up. So thank you to Michael and Dice Media. But with this thing, as you know, because I say it a lot, at least every week usually, keeps hot things hot, cold things cold. But more importantly, if you ask for help, you might get some. So what can our community do that would make a difference for Tim, for Chumem?
So we're getting ready to go into beta in December. So if you're interested in testing our tool out early next year, we'd love people to try it out, break it, give us feedback. So right now, this has been huge. It's been really helpful.
Great. Well, let's give Tim a big round of applause. Okay, Troy, come on up. We'll get you set up. Try to do two things at once. I think probably pretty ready to go. Should I make Steve introduce you?
Yeah, make Steve.
I don't know Troy well enough to know. I checked out his website. It looks like it's doing some marketing stuff. Got a cohort coming up. Some interesting things, so I won't spoil it. I don't know what he's talking about. But Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about Troy?
So if you haven't met Troy yet, take a minute. His waters run real deep. He's got a lot of humanitarian behind him. He believes it. That's he is. The marketing side of him and the sales side, he's very creative. I first met Troy prior to going to the cohort that he sponsored for the net. But Troy's company brings that you haven't explored yet, and you'll have the opportunity to experience. Thanks, Steve. All right, good. Trick Mike, I don't like. You guys are my people, entrepreneurs. My first company was a mortgage company, and I grew up in a family that they weren't entrepreneurial, so thought I was just a weirdo. And they all thought I was a weirdo. And I went to a networking group called, it's called UBN, I don't know what that's called. Business networking. I was with this group of entrepreneurs, and I'm like, these are my people. I'm a type. There's a type of people that do this. So it was pretty eye-opening. Yeah, I was a financial planner for American Express. You guys know it's a tremor. It's not because I'm nervous. I'm too dumb to be nervous. It just, I had nerve damage. So for 3 years I was in bed, lost my practice, lost my 3-story house, my BMWs, lost my wife, lost everything. I recommend everyone do that at least once in their life because it's a great learning experience. I learned a lot. I'm grateful for everything. I was almost vice president, so recruited, trained a lot of financial planners. They said, Troy, just come and help us get our marketing, get our sales up, You taught us, you trained us, get sales. That's where my company started. Sometimes I couldn't work, I could work 10 hours a week. And so Stampede started that way. I was called Sagebrush Marketing back then. And the idea behind it was marketing that worked. So today, so what is marketing work? Well, it's a big question because there's a lot of pieces. We're a full stack marketing agency. But how do I get my clients a system that works? Most of the time, like for example, paid ads, they pay me. And if they stop paying me, guess what happens to their leads? It stops. They try to scale with paid ads, but they're so expensive they can't scale. So I can get clients leads, but it never really scales their business. So the biggest problem I see is their websites. So I don't know if you guys have websites. What's the traffic to them? What's the traffic to your website? What's the organic traffic to your website? Right? A website converts with organic about 5%. I think a good paid ad campaign of 0.5, that's a good conversion. So a 5% conversion is really good with organic traffic. So let's talk about that today. I'm going to present that. I'm going to ask, I'm going to talk about hookers and leaders. So today I want you to all help me and be hookers. I don't want you to be leaders. Hookers and leaders.
And they got mad at me for coming.
We didn't get mad, we just laughed with you.
I get that term from Stephen King. Stephen King says, right at the beginning so with marketing, I think the soul of marketing is in your copy. Okay? And the very beginning of any copy is the headlines. So, and Stephen King says that at the very beginning of any piece of content, you want to hook people. And so some beginning sentences or beginning of hooks people, or some content leads people away from the content. Get it? So you want to hook people. So that's what I want to talk about today, or have your help. I'm going to present sort of the beginning of my pitch, and that's what does this pitch hook you? Does it capture you? Or does it lead you away from our solution? How do you make a website get organic traffic? Okay. And then the last request is I'm going to get my number. Kindly, if I come across it credible, put me in your phone. Give me your resource for anything marketing. So, thank you. So this is the big problem most small businesses have. SMBs have this issue. In fact, 7 out of 10, if you talk to them, this is one of the biggest problems in marketing. I'm just not getting enough leads. Right? They get enough leads. In fact, I've got a podcast. If you guys want to listen to, it's called the No Like Trust podcast. Stampede No Like Trust. We've had hundreds of shows. Interviewed lots of entrepreneurs. The biggest thing I see with entrepreneurs that I've interviewed is the ones that have figured out their marketing.
Yeah, it's delayed. The mic, it's going to be
The ones that
delayed.
haven't aren't.
If you want,
It's like 90 days. And I hear these stories, they're like, I was unhappy and then I figured out this and now I'm happy. It's an amazing thing to see. So here's the problem. There's a lot of websites out there. There is a lot. 13 to 1.13 billion websites. Just I pulled the statistic half a month ago. So what does that mean? Well, you are here, right? Your puny little dinky website is here in a universe of websites. Let's put some numbers on that. There's 252,000 websites that are going to be created today. That's 175 per minute. So this presentation, 10 minutes, whatever, 20, I don't know how much you give me, but how many websites is that? You think you guys can put down? How do we do that, right? So right
in creating a web system that brings organic traffic to you. Month in, month out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what Stampede wants to help our clients do. And here's the nice thing. Once we get this system set up, it's easy to maintain. It takes about a year, and it's methodical. We target two groups, your target audience and Google. If Google doesn't like your content and it's not set up right, you're not going to be found. But so this right here is anyleads.com. If you guys want to go to anyleads at any time and check them out, this is their traffic right now. So this is what this was. Let me read it here. 2019. They went from 0 traffic to what's that? 54,000 a month in a year. So here's how we do it. You guys can do this yourself, or you can call me and I'll give you step by step how to do it yourself. So what we do is we write 50 blog articles. Each article has 4 keywords in it. We optimize those. So imagine that each of those keywords has a monthly search volume. We want high traffic, low competition keywords. So combine all those together. Maybe there's 50,000 monthly search volume. That's MSV. So if you have 50 articles times 50,000 search volume, on your website, that's a monthly search volume possible a month of 2.5 million possible searches. So how many possible searches is on your website right now? How many you have your website optimized for 200 keywords? That's the power of this. Because once you built this, once you have to set it up in the correct way, you've got it done. So this is way oversimplified, but this is pretty much how it works. I just wanted to go through this process. So that is kind of the main pitch. I don't want to get into the complications of it. This right here is kind of our mind map on how to do it. You see, this is like my website, and we've got the articles, a lot of articles, right? We're going to probably have 100 for Stampede Web. But you see how each one of these, there's like a main pillar, and then you have your articles kind of siloed around that pillar. And that's how Google is reading it. Because I don't know if you've ever heard of Eats. Google uses Eats. They want things to